My name is Angelina Rodriques, and from 2001 to 2018, I have been working for an organisation called BAWSO, and my position at BAWSO was the Deputy Chief Exec. I've worked at a local, national and international level and in partnership with a range of organisations to improve policy and practice responses to Black and ethnic minority women and girls. BAWSO is an all-Wales organisation that provides specialist services to BME victims affected or at risk of domestic abuse and all forms of violence against women. I've always grown up in Wales, and I was a minority woman living in Wales, and I faced racism throughout my school life and through to my working life. But only when I came to BAWSO and I was working with actual victims of domestic abuse. These women were the ones that gave me an understanding of the difficulties and the struggles that BME women fleeing abuse faced. Previously to my starting work at BAWSO, I studied a housing policy and practice degree at Cardiff University. I decided to go to university when my daughter started school. I'd spent quite a lot of years when she was younger trying to fight a system that thought it was okay and it was good to accommodate young mothers in the same area of Cardiff. This area was quite far out of the centre of Cardiff, and many people who lived there were probably quite away from the areas that they'd actually been brought up in or had any family support. You were stigmatised because you lived in that area. When I finally finished my degree, I volunteered for a short time at BAWSO before securing a full-time post where I worked as an outreach worker. I was working with women who were unable to come to refuge or didn't feel ready to, or just didn't understand really what was needed or what they were entitled to. And my role was to advocate and give them the support that they required. When I first came to BAWSO, there was only 5 support workers. When I left in 2018, we had about 90 workers and we were covering the majority of Wales. We had outreach projects, we've got trafficking projects, forced marriage, FGM projects, a language and interpretation project, and a childcare project as well. My contribution was to develop services that BME women and communities were able to access no matter where they were. I developed the BME Refuge in Swansea, and the Refuge in Swansea was the first single accommodation flats so that women were able to have a bit more privacy and space. BAWSO really grew in 2003 when I led the development of the floating support schemes, and that also gave opportunities for women who were leaving refuge to get support when they were in the communities in helping them to maintain tenancies. From 2007 onwards, I developed the first female human trafficking accommodation in Wales, and then in 2015 went on to develop a service for male victims of human trafficking. Another area that was not being addressed, the anti-human trafficking coordinator was employed in Welsh Government and worked very closely with him and CPS to raise awareness of the human trafficking and modern slavery, and that is going from strength to strength. A campaign that I was involved in was getting some financial support for women who had no recourse to public funds. And this was a real difficult one because as an organisation, we would have some rooms accessible for women who had no recourse to public funds, which means they weren't able to access any benefits, which means it would be difficult for them to get into refuge. But we fundraised a lot to be able to provide that. That issue of no recourse to public funds puts women in real situations when they can't leave because of the finances. So my role within the organisation was to develop these services over the years. And I was very proud that I've been able to develop these services and see more and more women and children obtaining the support and understanding that was required. These services could never have been developed without the trust of the women and children we support, and also the staff at BAWSO who gave 100% support, even in very challenging environments.